Hi, I'm Sheila. I'm the Nutrition and Wellness Coach at Community Action in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I am with you today to demonstrate a recipe that is part of our feast series. The recipe is bean tacos. Who doesn't love bean tacos? So this is a little bit of a cooking recipe. Won't take too long, but we are going to cook. So I've got my pan heating, and it's actually ready to have the olive oil added to it. So our first instruction is to heat oil in a large skillet set on medium heat. So we've got medium heat, and now we've got our oil in the pan. And so we'll wait just a moment for that oil to heat just a little bit, and then we will add the magical ingredients, in my opinion, onion and garlic. Can't go wrong with that. So our recipe calls for some sliced onion and some chopped garlic. So here's the onion sliced, and in the pan. I'll get this going, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the big picture of our recipe. So, and here is the garlic. You know, and you can, it's great to use fresh garlic because it's usually pretty cheap, and if you're like us, we grow a lot of garlic at our house, so if you have access to some ground to grow your own garlic, it's a very, very satisfying crop to grow. But of course, you know, I think you can get it in the store in chopped already or minced in a jar, and so you just use what works for you. But some onion and garlic, we'll let that cook for a few moments. It's loud. It kind of, the sizzle of the pan, I feel like I have to be sure and talk over it so you guys can hear me. Okay, so again, we'll let these cook for a few minutes until the onions are translucent, is what the recipe says. And so that just means where they're starting to look a little bit, not quite clear, but headed in that direction. Not quite as, bright white as when you cut the onion up. Hope that makes sense. So, 3 to 5 minutes is probably a good guess on the time that it'll take. So then, the other ingredients that we have for our tacos, in addition to the onion and garlic, we've got green bell and red bell peppers. We'll have some chopped tomatoes, and then we'll also have some black beans, some oregano, some cayenne pepper, and then something acidic, right? That's what brings up our flavor instead of having to rely on salt. When we add salt, it's usually because we're wanting more flavor. So something acidic, apple cider vinegar or any other vinegar you have, lemon juice, lime juice. These are all acidic things that you can use for that purpose. Okay, so my onions are starting to look a little bit translucent. This is going to be great, you guys. So then our next step is to add our sliced green and red peppers. So I should show you that. Can you see how gorgeous those are? Add those. And then we'll cook these peppers along with the onion and garlic for just a couple of minutes. I think I've talked with you guys before about seasonal eating, right? When you can eat foods, vegetables that are in season, in their peak growing season, where you live, right? So if you're making this recipe in the summer, July, August, September in Nebraska, you should be able to find peppers in abundance if you're a gardener or from your friends who are gardeners, or at the farmer's market. Local farmers will have lots of peppers right now, and the same is true for tomatoes too, of course. Okay, so then our next step, let these cook for a couple of minutes. I think that's pretty good. Our next step is going to be to add the tomatoes, beans, spices, and then just a little bit of salt and black pepper. So let's do that next. Tomatoes, and this is just a cup of chopped tomatoes. I'll give that a stir. Get a little more liquid in there, and it kind of quiets the pan down a little bit. Did you notice that? Okay, there's the tomatoes and the beans. And I've got the beans in this strainer because I have rinsed my beans. I used canned beans. Our recipe suggests a 15-ounce can of low sodium black beans that have been rinsed. And this is a brand I found, Kuner's, K-U-N-E-R-S, that has no salt added. That's what it says on the front of the label, but of course we always want to turn the product around and look at the ingredients list. And this ingredients list says black beans and water. So it's true, no salt added. So that's great. Salt is just fine, but in moderation, right? In small amounts. And so it's great to have that opportunity to add our own, because we'll usually add a lot less than what you're going to get in packaged foods. So it's always good to be reading those labels. Okay, and then the spices. A tablespoon of dried oregano and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Let's get our oregano in there first. That might almost take care of this whole package for me. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. That's just exactly a tablespoon. I'm glad I had enough. And then a little bit of cayenne. It says a teaspoon. I'm gonna go just a little bit less. In my experience, cayenne can be, a little bit can go a long way and be pretty bossy pretty fast. So I'm gonna cut back a little bit on that for my own personal preference. Okay, so tomatoes, beans, spices, a little bit of, let's see. Yeah, we'll have just a little salt. Cut that over here. It's not listed on the ingredients because we don't want it to be considered something that's featured. So just a little bit. And the same with the black pepper. Okay, that's that. So we'll get all that a stir. And then we cover till some of the liquid is reduced, and that's not going to take very long. We're just giving these spices a chance to meld and infuse, and to be sure we've got all those ingredients really warmed through, cooked through, so those peppers are a little bit softer. So that's what we're waiting for here. And so while we wait for that, let's see, I told you about the beans. Let me tell you about our tortillas, right? So this recipe suggests that we enjoy our tacos with corn tortillas, right? Those are the the small ones. I've got this, they're soft. They're not the hard shells, which you could use the hard shells if you want. You could also use the bigger whole wheat, or other soft flour tortillas if you want to. But one of the reasons that we are suggesting that you use corn tortillas is because, generally speaking, you know, these are made with whole grain corn. And so we're always looking to have whole grains in our diet. With some of the other tortillas, the flour tortillas, those are pretty processed flours, and so you're not getting that whole grain. So that's the reason that we are suggesting the corn tortillas, so you're getting a whole grain. All right, let's check. Check and see how things are looking here. It smells good, you guys. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. All right, I'm gonna show it to you. We're almost done. So I want to have you see how colorful and beautiful that is. All right, can you see that? Green and red and black and lovely. So that's a really great thing, right? Because we are, we're eating that rainbow. The more colorful our meals, the more diversity of nutrition that we're getting. So it's really a great idea to try to mix up and eat a variety of colors in your diet. Okay, so the last step here is to add in the vinegar and mix well. And so that's that acidic component that's going to bring that flavor up just a little bit. So you could use lime juice here if you wanted to, or you could use lemon juice. I happen to have apple cider vinegar, so that's what I'm going to use. 2 tablespoons. And 2. Add the vinegar, mix well, and serve. So dinner is almost ready. So once I had my stuff chopped, you guys, how long was this video? 10 minutes, 12 minutes? I can't quite see. Not too bad though. You have this stuff all ready to go, it didn't really take very long at all to chop my ingredients. So that's it. Got my tortillas here, so I'm just gonna spoon up and enjoy. And I really wish you were here to enjoy it with me, but not today. However, I do hope that you will make this recipe on your own. Let us know how it goes, and thank you so much for watching. Enjoy.